So in the interest of balance, today we're going to talk about some of the risks when it comes to gold. So I obviously like gold and I continue to buy gold. You know, it's part of my long-term savings, but there are some risks that it's worth acknowledging when it comes to gold. So we're going to talk about a few of those, and if you have any that I've missed, I'd like to see them in the comments, so let me know. But first of all, we will start with the price itself. So gold and other commodities obviously have a spot price. So that is their market price, if you like, and that is denominated in dollar terms. So over in the UK, we obviously use the pound. If you're in Europe, you will use the euro on most countries. And one thing to consider is the exchange rate between the pound, the dollar, for example, which could affect your actual gold price. But let's just keep it simple. Gold has a spot price, and if we're talking about a 1 ounce of gold, at the moment the spot price might be £1,470. So if you go to buy 1 ounce of gold from any dealer or most, second-hand sales even, you're going to pay a premium over the spot price. So this coin, whilst it is a fine ounce of gold, obviously has some manufacturing processes, and it's minted into a nice coin. It's not just a lump of raw like ore, if you like, gold ore. It's been refined and so on. So there is a cost to bring that to the market. It's got to be dug out the ground and so on. And when the mints get hold of it, they're obviously making them into these nice coins. So the mint's got to make some money, really. It's a business, and it needs to turn a profit to keep the lights on and to stay open, stay in business. So some coins have obviously different designs and different finishes requiring different, processes. Now, every coin is going to have, like I say, a bit of a premium on top. So your typical dealer might be selling a 1 ounce gold coin for 3 to 5% over the spot price. Maybe a little lower, maybe a little more if it's a more collectible or more premium piece. Now that is in itself a bit of a risk, because you go and buy this coin and you want to immediately sell it back. The dealer will have a spread, and they will then pay you less than what you bought it for. So let's say it is a 5% premium and they will buy back at spot. You're risking 5% of your purchase at the moment. You need gold to go up 5% for you to break even. So there is that risk that, the gold that you are buying, if you should have to sell it really quickly, straight back, you are risking that premium. So if you're buying a 20% premium, obviously the risk is greater. And if you're buying a 1% premium, obviously the risk is lower. Maybe not in the full amount. If you're buying only $100 worth, £100 worth with a 10% premium, then yeah, you're only risking 10. But if you are buying a big piece, your risk is greater in that sense, but the percentage is lower. So depending how you want to look at that. The next thing, you might be unlucky and your gold might be stolen. So somebody, if you keep your gold at home, someone might get into your house and take it away. If you keep your gold in a vault, like I do, something could happen. Maybe there's some bank robbers, like you see in the movies, and maybe the gold could be taken away. It could be taken away by some sort of authority in the area. Perhaps there is a rogue using your safe deposit vault, and the police or the government or whoever, they raid the vaults and take all the contents, and you're just caught in the crossfire, and your gold is effectively stolen by the government or whoever that might be. Could happen. It has happened in some vault boxes, and there is obviously a risk with every storage option. So just something to be aware of. Not everything is going to be safe wherever it is, but that's up to you to weigh up, what you think is most likely to happen there. Next, there is, tales of gold confiscation, particularly in America. So some people will know more about this topic than I do. But there could be a situation where gold is effectively confiscated from the people. Does it is it likely to happen in the future? I don't really think so, but maybe it will. It's another potential risk. Doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen, doesn't mean it's maybe likely to happen, but there is a risk and there is a possibility. So could be something for you to consider. What I think would probably be most likely, though, if they were going to do something like that, I don't think they would probably confiscate it. I think they would probably change the tax rules on it, make it, somehow less easy to acquire, or make it less easy to get it into, fiat currency again at the other end. So that could be another option. In the UK, the 1 ounce coins that have £100 face value, and obviously the quarter ounce, the sovereigns, anything with a face value, it has capital gains tax exemption for us. So something like the Krugerrand, because it is not a pound denominated coin, I believe would be liable for capital gains tax, whereas the Britannias, things like that, sovereigns, they would not. So obviously check, it's not a tax advice video, but just check that if it is something you are looking into. And what I would say there is, the taxes, the rules could change. Governments are spending more and more and going into bigger and bigger holes, and maybe they will take that option and think, well, we charge VAT on silver. I know silver is treated a bit more industrially, but yeah, let's charge some VAT on gold as well. Why not? Some countries, I think, do tax gold. So there are some, things to consider if you're not in the UK. Definitely worth thinking about those. So taxes, like I say, they could change. Maybe they will say, these investment gold coins are no longer capital gains exempt and you'll have to pay. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But again, we're talking about potential risks, not necessarily things that I expect to happen or that will happen. Who knows what's going to happen in the future. Some crazy stuff has occurred. So after that, maybe there is the issue of just a genuine loss of the coins. So for example, let's say you have your gold and you don't like the idea of keeping it in a vault, and you don't like the idea of storing it at home. Maybe you stash it somewhere, or maybe you do stash it in your house. Maybe you bury it in the garden or under the floorboards, whatever that might be. What if something happens to you suddenly and your family maybe don't know about it, or close friends don't know about it, and that gold is just lost? It's just sat there, frozen in time, until somebody stumbles along over it one day. So, your family or whoever you perhaps intend to benefit from your gold stacking, maybe they never get to. So that is another potential thing to consider. It's better if you don't tell everyone where it is, but, if it's lost forever, then no one gets to use it. It's almost a bit of a waste. Obviously you get the fun and the hobby side of things. It's perhaps enjoyable to collect gold coins and things and work on sets and things like that. But another consideration for the future, I was just looking at that scratch on the capsule there, but it is on the capsule, that's fine. So those are some of the risks. Another risk I will leave you with, if you are looking at proof coins and collector coins, maybe there is sort of swings and troughs in the sort of collectability of certain sets. So, for example, things like the Queen's Beast series, still pretty popular. Something with Queen Elizabeth might be popular again. And then it might just drift, out of favour. Maybe people, for some reason, start preferring other things, or whatever that might be. And the coin you've collected, maybe it starts to lose the premium that it once had. And that is, another potential risk. With the proof coins as well, obviously if you buy a nice new shiny proof coin, and then you get it out of the capsule and drop it on the floor, and it gets dirt on it, it gets scratched and marked, then it's not really going to get the proof premiums when you come to sell. So those are some of the risks with gold, and I'd like to know what you think. Have you got any others that I missed, or do you disagree with any? And I look forward to chatting in the comments.